welcome everyone.
Well, thank you, Sheila. So we're both meeting planners and venue finders. And for those that are not within the industry and it's still a new for you, and maybe you have just changed jobs or you are just about to commence into the events industry. So what our jobs actually in Tyler is that we look for locations, as in venues, hotels, any kind of unusual locations for corporate and association meeting planners. So our job is really to scout throughout the world. I mean, the whole world is our playground, just to find that suitable location, that specific corporate event or maybe a larger trade show would really benefit from, because maybe it connects with their storyline or the ROI of that company, or just because from incentive point of view, the location itself provides something very unique that energizes the attendees. I mean, we always get different specs, what to look for. And our life has actually changed enormously during COVID, same as most people's work style has changed a lot. But because we were dependent on traveling quite a lot in this industry, we would go to different locations all over the world, just looking at hotels, staying in hotels, going to museums, theaters, checking the capacities of those locations, if they can fit to our clients' event requirements. And then suddenly we are not able to travel at all. So what do? Well, today we're showcasing what our life looks like today, as our venue finding, daily job is still going ahead. The events are still taking place also next year, if not already in the spring and fall. So me and Sheila, we are actually, very busy during these times using the current technology. And I was just saying that we're going to introduce ourselves. So that was a very long introduction to what we do. And then my name is Anna Junnila, and I'm working as a team with Sheila Riikonen. So we're both based in the Nordics, in Finland. And as you heard, Sheila is on the way to our very northern part, the beautiful, I would say, winter wonderland, Lapland. So I'm actually in the south west coast in Turku. And we are fortunate not to have that strict regulations, in place than what our colleagues have in the Central Europe or USA or in some parts of Asia or Middle East. They have curfews in place, but we are free to move around. And that's why Sheila is taking most out of this situation as well, aren't you?
That's right. In my view right now, you can see that I'm very proud to be a member of the Meetings Professional International MPI, where Anna is also active at the moment. And let me introduce Anna as also the WEC committee chairperson. She will describe that later on. Earlier, I was MPI Anti-Human Trafficking Committee member globally, and I'm saying that we are so proud to do some non nonprofit activities even during the pandemic. And I can see that we have meeting planners and executive assistants with us today in the webinar. And I'm just so happy that you are continuing to be active at this moment and making sure that you keep the spirit of positivity. Also, I'm working with HelmsBriscoe, and finally, I'm a member of the German Chamber Association here in Finland, alongside with Anna as a corporate member with 350 corporate members in Finland.
Exactly. Well, that was a great introduction to some of the association work that we do. MPI, the Meeting Professionals International Association, is about 17,000 members organization, which globally helps us to connect and upskill ourselves. There's a lot of education, and the WEC that Sheila mentioned is the World Education Congress that takes place every year. And it's located this year in Las Vegas this summer, and planning to be a hybrid event. So we're quite excited about that. Maybe it's our first MICE event this year that we get to go in person. Fingers crossed. So we both work very deeply to improve our industry, and also we are tech evangelists, so we are really pro change on that, and digitalization of our industry is important to us. And that's what we're going to do today, is show some of the digital tools. And the idea here is that we are becoming more sustainable as an industry as well. So let's show a little video of the platform that we will be using. And first I'll just make sure that my computer sound is on, so you will also hear the lovely voice.
Hey Sales Pro, we know you and your buyers are going through challenging times, but we want to make things more simple. If your customer cannot travel to the site, why not bring the site to the customer? Visualizer allows you to digitalize your site visit on a 3D multimedia platform. The platform utilizes the media you already have, and with them, your own MICE-compliant virtual site visit can be built in a day. Visualizer Visit shows your venue's most crucial information at one glance. With immersive capacity charts, satellite maps, and 3D floor plans, your venue is presented as it adapts to customers' different needs. And with a white-labeled experience, your brand is always appropriately presented. Even when you make changes to your venue in a way or another, you can update capacity charts, layout information, and photos instantly from everywhere. Visualizer also enables you to add your social distance meeting regulations to the platform itself. And because Visualizer Visit is an online platform, your site's information is easy to share just with a button's push. Visualizer Visit, your digital venue.
Well, there we go. And we do have these venues to showcase as well. So I'm going to actually open here one of our Crown Plaza properties. We are impartial to brands. In this case, when we're doing our venue finding, we don't favor one specific chain. So we are always looking from the customer's perspective, what the specifications are. Usually we start by capacity and the location request, which is quite often is open. So my clients, at least, they say, we need, I don't know, 3 location suggestions. This is how many people need to get there from these countries or these locations. Please suggest. So it can start from as wide search as that. And that's why we have a huge portfolio of properties that, we think always fit into those location requirements. And here we're looking at actually Berlin. So it would be nice to jump first of all to the interactive map to highlight where exactly we are. And I took this location as the first property just because we do have quite a good pace with the vaccinations going on at the moment in Germany, although it's one of the red areas and very much restricted at the moment. We believe that with this pace and also the efficiency, they will be able to open by our planned dates, which are in September. So we have inquiries going now to several locations in Germany for the September dates. So here we see the Berlin, itself. But if you're looking at from kind of top down, we can also identify from this map from which countries people would be able to come with train or with car in case there are limitations on the flights. So at this moment, we are backing off from what we used to do. So we used to always look at, which airlines are flying, where's the airport? But I think we're currently approaching more on the perspective of how many can actually drive there and from which countries. And we are really fan of outdoor spaces. So it's nice to see that there are some really big parks nearby, and we can also do some team building outdoors in this case. And of course, we like to look at the main, meeting spaces. So we start from the floor plans usually, and we check on which parts of the building, you know, first of all, the meetings areas are they on one floor? Do we need to isolate the area in some ways from the public? I mean, can we? So here we see that the first floor has a really good flow in terms of the meeting area. So we can even jump into the meeting spaces directly from the floor plan to give us an idea what kind of spaces we're looking at.
That is quite true, Anna. I just sent an RFP to Germany last week, and unfortunately, even in October, the hotel that I was looking at is fully booked. So I've had to look at the other brand as well, and therefore I'm going to do a multi-brand presentation to our clients here in Finland. So it's really useful to look at the surrounding properties around the hotel that you would like the event to happen.
Oh, definitely. And that's why logistically, we are not dealing with that large events at the moment. So our search is really limited to one venue, whereas before COVID, we used to also take in consideration satellite hotels. So we would normally have spillouts because hotels would be fully booked, like you said. So were you able to put on a second option, your meeting?
Definitely, Anna. And it so happened that, for example, in Stuttgart, we have a few visualizers that are already current, and therefore I'm just so happy to show to my clients on my meeting on February 15 that there will be a possibility to look at this property that they have not considered. Presently, it's the Move and Pick Stuttgart, which is of course present in Visualizer.
Exactly. We looked at the other day because we don't have the COVID details in that one yet. We didn't go and look at it today. And of course, you know, behind the scenes, we are searching venues all the time for our clients. So we do encourage hotels to update their marketing materials. And some properties, they send us videos or they send us these kind of flip books or PowerPoints. And, you know, it makes our job a little bit slower because as you said, you know, we are skimming through a lot of properties. We have a portfolio of 258,000 hotels that we have an access to. And out of those properties, there are such a huge variety of material qualities around. So of course, we like to go on a fact sheets. These are things that we normally receive. So if you exclude the digital platform that we're looking at, quite often we have to skim through these kind of texts. And you know, it is quite a long process to go through what we are looking at here. But this is a good one just as a, I would say, leaflet to remind us. But in fact, we have the same information in an easier format here, where we can just jump and look at around, okay, we have the workshop areas, the boardrooms, and then we have the main areas that, how does this flow work? So this is kind of easier to go around. And the capacity charts are also interactive. So we are able to see how we can fit those people in, especially now during COVID. It's quite nice to have an interactive one, so you can go straight to the largest areas and then see how they plan out. So Hong Kong 1 and 2 might be okay for a smaller group that we have with a really nice view. So
it's worthy to mention indeed that Hilton Prague and Hilton Old Town in Central Europe are very active in promoting their properties even during the lockdown, primarily because they have a hybrid meeting places that are available to meeting planners, whether it's an in-person event of 50 with live streaming of 500 people attendees. It is highly possible to do it at the moment with Hilton Prague and Hilton Old Town.
well, actually also here with this Hilton. So, I mean, that's one of the brand strengths. So it's not limited to those two properties. And also in Helsinki, you are able to do the same. So what they have invested in is being able to stream from one boardroom also to the other. So there's connectivity within the building. Of course, you can do that with Zoom anytime, but they have also facilitated so that you don't have to separately, you know, set it up from an external point of view. And so this screen connects to the other screen. So I mean, these are really nice details when we are sourcing out our hybrid events, especially right now. So you mentioned the Prague one. So we have also Vienna. Vienna Hilton does the same. So we have noticed on a brand level that some brands are really investing in this kind of virtual event requirements that we have at the moment. And of course, there are a lot of independent properties which we also look at. But during, again, these lockdown restrictions, because it's harder to travel, we are really dependent on the materials that we are receiving and getting our hands on. And how are these hotels able to communicate with us? Well, we are also actively announcing on social media that we are looking for virtual site visits and platforms to look at the venues so that, we're able to really get a good sense of the properties. So we are also reaching out as well, just to highlight that, we have this need in terms of how can we now look at those individual properties if we don't have presentations that are up to date. So let's go on the COVID details, which we mentioned briefly already. This is a clean stay guide book, it's kind of leaflet as well, but it gives us a very good understanding that what we can say to our clients when they ask about the safety of the event and the readiness of the hotel. So we have actually highlighted the event ready quite a lot during our webinars. We have given a lot of airtime to it because it's very clear and the documentation is very easy. Accor also does a really good job on this one. And so we have really appreciated the documentation that we have received.
Indeed, Anna, each Hilton in each country has, of course, their own branded event-ready leaflets, but I noticed that they all, of course, have one thing in common: the hot spots that you need to take care of when you go to check in the reception. So all these things can actually be carried over into any of your Hilton presentation. However, Hilton Paris Opera made a very good video with 5 minutes of presentation to their clients during the lockdown, meaning all their staff were wearing face masks and hygienic protocols are observed. So these are very unique features in each brand.
Exactly. And now I would like to, so IHG Clean Promise. So we're just comparing how each of these property chains are really highlighting that they're ready for the clients. So let's look at the video that they have here on the visualizer.
Around the world, we've been busy planning how to welcome you back. We know our heartfelt care needs to look a bit different now. Your safety and well-being will always be our top priority. So, with our longtime partners Ecolab and Diversey, we're enhancing our IHG Way of Clean program. And we've partnered with the Cleveland Clinic on new global cleanliness initiatives to help ensure you feel safe. We're focusing on frequent deep cleaning and disinfecting, and social distancing measures. We're exploring new ways to reduce contact at our front desks, use of protective equipment, new cleaning methods and technologies, sanitizer stations for everyone, and cleanliness amenity kits for our guests. We've enhanced our room cleaning procedures and are clearing and opening up our spaces. We've developed new dining guidelines. And to ensure we never lose focus on these key areas, we're assigning clean champions at all of our hotels around the world. Additionally, we're launching our IHG Clean Promise. We promise that when you're ready to travel again, your stay will meet our high standards of cleanliness. If not, we'll make it right. We can't wait to see you again.
Well, we can't wait to be there. That's for sure.
Now that you mention it, there are some important announcements actually related to IHG. They have been very active in social media. And of course, our main contact in IHG located in London has something very special for us this month. So we're quite looking forward to learn about it.
Definitely. I mean, we keep very close contact with our organization, with all the major hotel chains. And throughout this pandemic, since start of the March, we have really received in-depth insights to how and what kind of protocols they are in place for these situations and how things are developing also which properties are open and etc. So we get monthly presentations done by these hotel chains, and also regionally we are in touch with the key people so that we are up to date all the time. And this Crown Plaza that we have on our screen right now, it's Helsinki. It is also a visualizer. So we are looking at the site visits, in a multiple different ways. But one thing you can say is that they all look like the hotel branding itself. So you wouldn't necessarily know that it's a visualizer because everything looks like it's part of that Crown Plaza, which is great. You're instantly recognizing also the brand. But here we have, let's go to the public areas in terms of looking at a little bit of the destination itself. This is an interesting one because it doesn't look very nice outside of the hotel for real. This is a very truthful picture here. However, this is an extremely key location of in Helsinki, and once you're on the other side of the road, it opens up to this lovely park where you will be able to be by the water, by the sea. It's a little peninsula, and you will see also the famous Finlandia House there, and Opera House is actually on the other direction. So in a way, you do need to know the location a bit better before making the first impression count. Because yes, if you'll be standing in front of this hotel without knowing where you are, it might not be the most visually captive right there. But when your rooms are higher up in this building, you will have a lovely view for sure. So we have this inside knowledge as well, luckily. So we can combine that with the actual presentations that we have here.
I think you might remember, Anna, that Finland was the site of the US-Russia summits twice, and therefore the President Bill Clinton was even staying in a hotel nearby this location. So therefore, I'm saying that security and protocol is really important in planning, and therefore therefore when you look at the maps and the vicinity, the security aid of the White House has really looked at this, and visualizer visit can be very useful in that.
Oh yes, definitely. And also when you're looking at that, I mean, Obama also, and we have lots of different individuals just within the past few years that have been staying within vicinity, and they tend to also stay here even if they're doing a day trip to Estonia or to St. Petersburg or even Moscow. So it is a good hub to visit the other locations. And the lobby area was already quite nice, but let's go to the view from the roof to highlight what I was just saying, that it is a very lovely location once you get to see what we know that this property has to offer. So here you go. You actually see that lovely, area that highlights how Helsinki is built from islands, and you have some key locations that it tells you the Finnish National Opera background here. You can look at all the other details on. So it's quite nice, that you can do this 360 view on a rooftop as well, because we couldn't see that from the street.
I agree, Anna. With Visualizer Visit, you can actually even make it thematic, whether it's winter, spring, summer, autumn. You can change the photos, or you can just go to your collection of images and make sure you customize the presentation to your client. Let's say they have a 100 people event in the winter. It might be good to see the beautiful surroundings around Tula Lake where this property is located.
Definitely. I mean, this is one of the key destination highlights that you get to experience in Helsinki, is that everywhere you're close to water, and pretty much every hotel also has some sort of vicinity or view to that. So we can also look at the floor plan immediately just to highlight that, is this appropriate to our guests? Do we actually like the layout of it? And the capacity charts tell us more about, okay, if we have round table events, how do we fit these individuals in? U-form is very, very popular at the moment. So I think we would probably like to see that Töölö 1, 2, 3 for that purpose as well. And then we have some lovely features like the winter garden, which is nice breakout area. So we have plenty of space during COVID now to also keep that flow and the security distance, the social distancing aspects in check. And
That's right.
we
The
can
word
only fit.
winter garden, by the way, is very special. It's used in many rooms located here in Finland. I can actually recall 3 places in Helsinki with the word winter room or winter garden. And that's because, 90, like a lot of times in Finland, we are experiencing winter, and it's really very cozy when you come here for a winter conference.
Oh, definitely. I mean, all these properties are very well insulated. They're very, I would say, low energy waste, so the energy rating is very high because they are very well built as well. So if you're looking at sustainable events, Finland can definitely cater that on a green aspect as well. So we do this recycling very well. So that's why we do like to promote our Scandinavian properties and Nordic properties, because we know that all these basic requirements that we would like to say are the industry standards now, are all taken care of.
Yes, there are events in Helsinki where sustainability and environmental protection is the main theme, and it's really important to choose a property that aligns with those values. Incidentally, this Crown Plaza has been hosting such events, and I think that I have been here listening to sustainability in this particular building. And it's really important for us as meeting planners to choose the venue that has shown visually that they have a sustainability and environmental highlights.
Definitely, like we see here, they are using glass bottles, so getting rid of plastic is one aspect. Not using straws, that's been a long already, as something that we ourselves tell the hotels that we don't want any of that. But also paper. So when you have an electronic, as in e-brochure or visualizer 360 brochure, it's also very sustainable in that sense, and it highlights those values. Here you can see also the square meters. For a lot of purposes, you would need this. So I can show you how you just drag and drop this one when you're planning an event. So you can scribble basically all the, banners and destination, I don't know, whatever you want to put into this space, also into this drawing. So it's quite an easy tool for us. And it tells the ceiling height 3.4. So we have got a really good basis to start planning here. I'm just going through some of these property highlights so that we have a good idea of the social distancing event as well, because these ones, as you see, are the 1.5 to 2 meter distance photographies that we like to also showcase to our clients. That the U shape is the safer style. We also have the classroom, which is another safer style. So this is also the type of furniture that you get when you're creating either U-shape or the classroom. So there's a wealth of information in this one. We can also darken the room and make sure that our hybrid virtual elements are well taken care of. So, but if we don't, or we have a break, we can also enjoy the massive windows with the daylight. So that's very nice. And up here we can see how the air conditioning flow works. So we would ask that from the property that they have taken care of isolating the meeting area, air conditioning from the public areas or for the rooms. And that's quite important right now.
I couldn't agree more, Anna. This filtering, this air conditioning, where the airflow is functional, that's really a very important focal point during this pandemic. And fortunately, a lot of the venues we have presented have highlighted that, and they have made sure that the clients are confident when they do their in-person events, that the airflow is something that has been taken care of, that it's functional, and that it kind of like gets rid of any unwanted air substance that might, affect our health in a negative way.
Definitely, and one of the benefits of COVID, because there are also some things that have become better, are that there are less allergies apparently and less common flus around because people are washing their hands more and using masks. So in a way, we are also keeping our attendees, safe from the common diseases that we had before, just that were contained by not really taking care of that hygienic aspect. So I think we are learning a lot of basics out of this terrible event that has happened. But we need to obviously progress with the mindfulness of what can we learn from this one. And I think one thing is just to ensure the hand hygiene and also those other protocols stay in place even when we progress to next year and years from now.
I think visualizer visit is so super cool in such a way that you could actually see the patterns on the carpet. And if this carpet has been changed, you can update it. And if you're located in Europe, visualizer is sending their own photographers to help you idealize or ideate the kind of photography you might need for a very effective, impactful virtual site visit. So if this carpet has changed, you could easily upload a new image, or you could send a photographer to take a new photo.
Or in our 2.0 version that is coming up this spring from Visualizer, we will have virtual furniture, and you can virtually change these details also to be closer to what you are planning to do, in case you want to highlight the renovations that haven't started yet, how they will change this property. So we can use the digital technology and digital architecture also now. And that's quite exciting times that we are looking forward to presenting you that next level tool. But I mean, really, that's just something that we don't necessarily need right now, but we keep on improving our work tools as well. So we're very appreciative for hotels who are making this happen, and they are helping our industry to also, as said, becoming more sustainable, so we can do our job without always traveling 24/7, seeing 5 properties, then forgetting which property had which kind of carpet, like you mentioned. But when we have visualizer, we can always look at it. Oh, it was this one. This is really lovely.
Remember, some properties in London actually have X on their tables and chairs on where the social distancing starts and ends. So like 1.5 meters, and they physically paste X's on their chairs and tables. So in that scenario that you just mentioned, Anna, then it will not be necessary to physically put those X's where the participants can actually sit.
That's correct. And how it happens, this is one of the properties that you meant in London. So instantly when you mentioned it, it took me a couple of seconds to just go and bring it up. So because this is one of mine, but I think I have noticed that it might be one of your favorites as well. Because we come back to this property a lot, ever since we had the presentation last year. We've been quite fond of it. So it is an impressive one. So let's go to the room, the Kelvin Lecture Theater. This is where we had these social distancing markings. So here we can see they've been, highlighted that these green ones you can now sit in, and you just need to leave those two, every 2 seats, free. And that creates that social distancing. And here you have the X's where you're supposed to not go in. I mean, this is, a very good tool as well. And we can also highlight with this one, visualizer, details as how does the sound system work. There is also these special cameras so that you can connect every meeting room to each other. So if the speaker is here, you will already by in-house have the technology inbuilt, and that's a cost-effective one. So that's one of the reasons why we like this property, is that the Institution of Technology and Engineering, which this one is at Savoy Place in London by the Thames, has a lot of nice details to give within the space that we don't have to obviously invest in separately. Also, they have taken care of all these safety aspects, that we require right now. And this is easy one to also send to all the attendees. We have
It's
some
quite important
favorite.
to mention, Anna, that because
Yep.
we have guests today from London, from England, I would be very happy to, uh, you know, let you know the visualizer visit or the recording we have had of this property, or you could easily show this property to your clients without asking us. Just maybe let us know, or give we can share some tips on how best to present this. Otherwise, this is a public visualizer visit. You can easily use this on your own.
Actually, I'm going to share it also to our lovely attendees so that you can see which one we are right now looking at. And you can take a look at yourself just to, in your own time. As we said, this is for everybody to have an access to. So it's not something that only we use, but now here we go. So you have the IET visualizer from the Savoy Place in your chat. So if you would like to view that, you're able to, and we will highlight exactly where this is located as well. So we see the Savoy Place here, 8 minutes walking distance from Common Garden, and the Temple Station is 4 minutes walking distance. So it's a very central location. And one, I think, highlight is that Johnson roof terrace that I just can't get enough of. I mean, this is incredible view for any kind of cocktail reception or any event. I mean, this outdoor space that this property has, I mean, it just gives that wow effect that we always look for. So when someone asks from us, any city in the world, give us 1 or 2 favorites. In London at this moment, I would actually include this probably in there if the capacity allows, for the reason being that it does highlight the Canary Wharf, the banking area, the district. You have the London Eye, you have the key bridge views here, and also the Westminster and the Big Ben is highly visible here. Also, if the guests are coming by riverboat or taking a riverboat, after the event, this is a great stop and a really easy one to hop on, hop off. And for New Year, can you imagine? I mean, you will see all the London fireworks from here as well.
It's true. We always look at the leadership, which is like based in EMEA in London. In our organization, we get this templates to reach out to our clients. It's really important right now to build a relationship with our clients. And true, as a meeting planner and a venue finder, I definitely treasuring these times every week on reaching out to my clients, making sure that they know that I'm in touch of things. There are 60 hotels I know that are opening right now in England, in the UK. And it's just amazing if we can see them in a visualizer visit.
Exactly. Meet England is doing their presentation today, actually, as we are on right now. So we are getting this up-to-date information. And we do attend to all these Visit Finland, Visit Estonia, Meet England, Visit Scotland, all these events just to keep up to date. And also regionally in a lot of different countries. Asia has been very busy promoting. So we were lucky also to have the Four Seasons from Philippines, here as our guests. So we've seen some spectacular properties in the past few months, and we are actually looking forward to having a few more. So next week already, we will have Dubai as well joining us.
Yeah, especially during this lockdown, the world is actually getting even smaller with visualizer visit. You can have in one page all the properties you have visited in the last 2 years. As I have been to Mexico and Australia, I can't wait to show these properties since I cannot possibly travel there with my clients or bring my clients there. It's just for me like a 6 months to 1 year of presenting what I have learned in South America and continents like Australia. It's a very exciting time, and I'm still like on my toes on how to present them. Thankfully, there is visualizer visit.
Definitely. So I'm just about to open one of those visualizers that we have. Maya grand resort is one of the nicer ones that I've at least been able to view in the past few months. And if we go into the meetings area, let's just jump in there. Well, wow, we actually jumped straight into the straight into the meeting. I was going to show the foyer, so let's go to the foyer first before we are in this.
It's quite interesting. I visited a Barcelo property in Mexico, and there was a very expensive national treasure painting on the lobby, in which the hotel owner actually said they are not welcoming just any regular person to visit their hotel because that value of the painting is very high. And so with Visualizer Visit, we can actually appreciate the painting without even setting foot in the hotel.
Oh, same as with Louvre, it's very much guarded, and when you have special events there, that's one of the highlights also. I mean, I understand if these kind of presentations, you're gonna have also admission fee because there's also that special, X factor, I would say, the wow effect that you can go there in person. So even if we see it like this or in the movies, it's not quite the same. So those ones I would invest on, seeing something like that for sure. And when you know that these properties have that, it's all about knowledge. Then can plan to go in there. Like here, I mean, we learned a lot about the properties' outdoor spaces, and there's some incredible events that have taken place and will take place here. And because we're looking for a lot of outdoor spaces right now for COVID safety, I mean, this property itself has phenomenal beach to enjoy. I mean, we can go more in the meetings and events side of the beach because they have quite a nice views here, So we can do any kind of cocktail reception or team building activity here in the Barcelo Maya. This is located very close to Cancun. So we can look at the interactive map, and it's right there, a little bit outside Playa del Carmen Airport is there. So here we go. So this is considered as the American Mexico, I would say, having really a lot of American tourists also there 24/7. I'm not sure how it's right now, but we are looking forward to having co-hosts from the Barcelo to tell us how the situation is there. But it's quite a dreamy location. So Playa del Carmen is anyway one of the highlights of Mexico. And look at that view there. And then some of the event pictures here will also showcase what we can enjoy. I'm kind of looking forward to summer and all the heat. And because we can't travel, we've been so lucky to have amazing weather also here in Finland. So it's now really sunny, wintry weather, but it was really warm as well during summer. So I think we're lucky to have that even at home. But look at that morning view. Oh, this is incredible. So yes, the beach is getting cleaned every day. We can see that from the tracks. And I'm using my mouse to scroll around. So of course, if I don't touch the picture, it actually starts to roll on its own. So it takes you around as a circle. Like now it started just slowly showing the beauty of this beach. And before we go and travel somewhere else, I'm just gonna showcase the rooms that we're getting from this property. So this is the family junior suite. There's plenty of space. It's quite a nice and local ambience in this one. And we see also the air conditioning, how it's working in the room. And the views again are quite spectacular to the inner court. We have the tropical rooms and so forth, but we don't have to go through all of them because you will get, I'm actually going to share this one So you can look at the exact same picture that we are on now. Let me just copy this one. And I put it in the chat. So you can see that what I'm copying, I mean, I could have, okay, I can do it easier as well. I did it in a hard way because I can go here and this is the copy, the direct link. So of course, you know, there are different ways of doing it, but out of habit, you know, some presentations don't have it so easy. So I tend to sometimes just forget how easy Visualizer is. So here you go. This is for the room that we're in. So you can all jump into the same room and see the same view that we are looking at. And that was really that presentation on this one. And you can hop around that as well, that presentation that I just added to the chat. And then you can just cruise around throughout the whole property and see the details. And there's also a video of how beautiful that place is. So it gives us a little bit of the ambience as well. So we don't need to go into the videos right now. But if you speak Spanish, you can also
more
practice.
importantly, Anna, I think
Sure.
the multi-language feature.
Oh yes, I just, exactly that, you read my mind. So now I'm just showing that if you want to refresh your Spanish because you haven't been able to travel for a bit, I just changed the language here on the bottom right corner. And now it's in Spanish, and we can take the más info and start reading what, okay, so now we actually get to the get to their website here, and you can start booking, you know, what you just saw. So that's quite nice. You know, we can also jump straight in there. But yes, as long as we stay in this property on the visualizer, you can read also the details from here, what we have.
Yes, indeed. I especially like the multi-language feature. It can easily be updated in German, Spanish, Finnish, or Swedish. And I think that's the beauty of that, because we are in Europe and we work with many languages every single day. It is quite easy to jump in the multi-language feature of Visualizer Visit.
Definitely, and that's crucial when we are talking to our local suppliers, for example, about this event. And you know, they might be like, oh, what exactly do you mean? And then you just swap the language of this visualizer and you go, well, I'm talking about the instalaciones. So now we are in a facilities. So it actually gives us a language tool here at the same time to communicate better. So these are some of the, you know, again, you know, properties that we wanted to highlight today. As said, you know, we are traveling to Dubai next week, so we're just getting ready with our around the world trips. And one of the, I would say, tips that I just recently learned about the virtual site visits was really to make sure that, you know, there are some campaigns or offers also included into this one, the latest offers, because at this moment, you know, we are communicating directly with the hotels, but it would be also easier if we have them here in the visualizer, because you can instantly update this one. So even if they change every month or every 6 months, these can be also attached to the visualizer itself and changed in, you know, in a matter of minutes or so forth. So really would add those campaigns, and that helps us to remind our clients as well.
It's quite true, Anna. These are really sensitive times. We empathize with all our colleagues in the hotel industry. It's normally like every 2 weeks, there is a different phase we're dealing with in the hotels. And the beauty of Visualizer Visit is that it will always be there in spite of the hotel sales you're speaking with. And if they have to change a feature in the room or a certain offering in the restaurant, the same thing stays online, even though the person you're talking to is different. And that's, you know, for me, very convenient.
Definitely, as you said, with these uncertain times, for hotel itself, it's quite crucial to have all the information in one place, easily navigatable. And then if there's any changes in the staff, at least, you know, we still have that information for ourselves, and we can then contact the hotel directly to discuss those details for our clients and for ourselves when we're doing our events.
So
And
I was just inviting our meeting delegates or event planners present today to please let us know if you have a particular hotel, especially in the World Expo coming up in October to March 2022. We are on the height of it. We are so happy to present Hilton Dubai in the next few weeks. We met our colleague in IBTM, and we are so happy to host them in the couple of weeks. Their visualizer visit is pretty much ready. It can be ready in 2 to 3 days or even within a day if you need it for your client. And so if you are a meeting planner who has a presentation in mind for a group of clients, we would be happy to help you.
exactly, in a board meeting internally, companies, we always have to also get people on our side, that if we are like, we really want to go in December to Barcelona Maya Grande in Playa del Carmen in Mexico. Well, why is that? Well, let's just see these images. I think they might explain we have enough space in this place to make it safe, but also everybody will get what they want from that trip, out to Mexico. So I'm pretty sure that this kind of presentation itself will answer to a lot of questions that these meetings would have, instead of having to scroll down, up and down, some sort of PowerPoint. Then you can just show these 360s and discuss the capacity charts within the same presentation, having to again find those answers. I mean, the answers are here, so we can build any kind of incentive programs and ROI into our event more easily, just by skimming through 360 images. Like here we can say that this is our after party. People are really waiting to go out and dance for real, not just those virtual parties, virtual DJs, but for real, how much space do we have, when we are able to do events like this. So I think people will jump to these opportunities to organize these events once we have the vaccinations done. So we are already prepared. We know what to recommend and where to go.
And good to remember, Anna, that Visualizer Visit can be downloaded as a mobile app, meaning if you're in a flight or in a bus with a prospective client, you can easily show the products you're offering or the services you render by just showing Visualizer Visit. And it's a mobile app that is easy to use and very intuitive. So just let us know if you need help to download it. And you don't need a Wi-Fi or internet connection to present Visualizer Visit.
Definitely, that's the thing. I mean, it's offline as well, so you can really use it, or as a kind of like what we talked about, the planning tool as well. I mean, so yes, I mean, we are looking forward to our exciting co-hosts from the venues. So for the beginning of the year, we have just got ready with our visualizers. We have been building new ones. So we've been very busy behind the scenes, behind these webinars, getting our lovely properties ready, and also training on the webinar presenting. So what kind of cameras, tools, sound checks, what do we need for MICE compliant visualizer for it to really answer to our questions as meeting planners. So we give all those details and all those tips, during the process as well. And as said, there's a campaign, so you're able to onboard for free and have a trial. So you can suggest any venue. There's no initial cost on that one. And you can try that with the clients as well, client meetings. If you have any really important meetings coming up, you can get your visualizer for trial and then see if you want an annual subscription. So properties, hotels would then sign up for 12-month subscriptions. For meeting planners, it's free.
That's right, Anna. We always have our sessions for Visualizer Visit every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Central European Time. I noticed some of our participants actually just came in. Exceptionally, you can schedule with us a Visualizer Visit of any of your preferred property and just let us know, and we will be happy to schedule a time slot for you.
Definitely. So this will actually be as a recording also available. So if you really wanted to see more of the Barcelona Maya Grande resort from Playa del Carmen, or you wanted to view the Berlin property that we just looked at, the Hilton, and the Crown Plaza in Helsinki, you will be able to see that. And actually in the chat, we do have the links also for these properties. And here we're looking at the beach view, and we do have the meeting and events area, which is a massive convention center. So there's definitely space to do the social distancing events. And just before we go, let's just look at one of those main meeting rooms as well, so that we have a better idea of what kind of ballroom we have. So as you can see, we can set these chairs apart. We can bring in furniture that we want. Our 2.0 version of the visualizer will also have opportunity to build those kind of virtual furnitures in. So that will be something that we're looking forward to presenting in a due course. And I hope you have enjoyed today. Also on the Facebook Live, hopefully everybody who attended had a really good day. I'm saying hi to you all as well. And we are looking forward to bringing you back also on Thursday. So Thursday we start at 11 o'clock Amsterdam, Berlin time, which is 12 o'clock in Helsinki. It's also actually 11 in Stockholm. So depending on where you are, please do join us. It's the same link that you used today that you can use for Thursday as well. And then next week we have Dubai.
Thanks, everyone, and see you next Thursday. I have a good rest of the day.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your day. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.